What is the biggest ick for a guy?
When he has a birthday.
When he has a birthday.
Yes, if he celebrates his birthday.
If he gets cold, it's like just bring a jacket, bring a sweater, I don't know. Please don't be cold.
Just out there, be on the lookout for Captain Saber, 'cause he's saving
When you get the ick, it's actually a highly intuitive and spiritual practice.
No, it's not.
So I just learned what the ick actually is through TikTok, of course.
I love how this woman just learned what this word means, and now she's gonna lecture us all on how spiritual and intuitive it is.
So the ick is when you get that feeling that you are repelled by a person because they're doing something that is rather innocuous. There's a reason why this is intuitive. Your inner voice is subtly nudging you in a different direction.
So she goes on, but I'll spare us all and just hit you with the truth right now about the ick, which we're gonna see in full effect in just a moment. She's right that the ick is basically when a girl gets repulsed by a guy for some nonsense reason. But I have a theory that there are two main scenarios in which a girl claims to have gotten the ick. And the first I call true ick. This is when the guy she's dating isn't as masculine as she wishes he was, so even though she's convinced herself that she digs him, when he does things that remind her that he lacks the masculine energy she actually desires in a man, it turns her off. And in this scenario, the problem truly lies with the man. However, in scenario 2, which I referred to as cope ick, the problem lies with her. With cope ick, he actually is a masculine or desirable man, but because she's insecure about herself or his masculinity that she knows will attract better women, she'll use the ick as a coping mechanism to either emasculate him or convince herself that she doesn't find him attractive, out of fear he might stray or not be attracted to her.
You look so dumb right now.
Thought you'd impress her by trying for a prize at the fair? Nah, son, you better win that prize like a man or she'll be doing the tilt-a-whirl on some carny while you're crying alone on the Ferris wheel. True ick.
Icks that I have to share, and it's making me... You're in a car with a guy and you're listening to a song and he thinks the beat drop is coming at a certain point, but he misses it entirely and he does one of these and it's on the wrong beat.
Guaranteed she witnessed this behavior the night before recording this TikTok while on a date with some bro who ghosted her. Cope ick.
So dumb right now.
Bro, aside from the fact that he's bobbing up and down on that horse the way his girlfriend likely was on a real cowboy later that night, those pink shows are the only sign we need to know this is some true ick. So basically what she's implying here, based on the video title, is he told you he drives a Mercedes and now you're getting the ick watching him try to park it. You're trying to clown a guy who's clearly out of your league because of the way he parks his Mercedes? Get real. Cope ick.
You look so dumb.
Bro, do I even need to say it? True ick. A girl mocking her athletic-built boyfriend for having fun in a pool with a bunch of other women instead of her on vacay? Pure cope ick.
You look so dumb right now.
Fellas, you better get in some practice before taking her on that romantic skating date, because if you ain't cutting it up like Gretzky on that ice, you best believe she's gonna be feeling some true ick. Especially if you're this guy. Thought you were gonna try to hold her hand like some kind of bitch? Forget it.
When he holds my hand, it's a little icky.
You don't like the hand holding, eh?
Not.
True ick. You better make her beg to hold that hand. You got the ick because the guy pees with his book bag on? Where do you expect him to put it, on the dirty piss floor for no reason? Cope ick. Yeah, bro, I get that you want to show off your calves or dope kicks, but this is chick attire. And despite the fact that certain types of people want to claim that gender norms are just a societal construct that need to be dismantled, those people are morons, which is why this chick is getting true ick.
He was cute, but he told me that he almost didn't survive the Black Death, and I'm like, that is so embarrassing. He's like not even a knight, you guys. His tunic was like falling off while he was jousting. I was like, ugh.
Wait, so he actually survived the plague and he's a bad jousting in shining armor? Sounds like this wench is experiencing some cope ick. Although she did say that he's not even a knight. So if he has no status, is consistently losing the joust, and can't even keep his style on point, this might in fact be true medieval ick. And as you can see, my theory dates back centuries. My friend, there is no excuse for this much zest in your step. I don't care if you're walking downhill or not. And in the future, you better tighten those limbs a bit since she's recording because this relationship's over. And in a few hours, she'll be slurping in the neighbor's tent back at camp while you're alone slurping on a Bud Light.
I get the ick so fucking quickly. Like, if you are not obsessed, if you're not obsessed with me, I don't want it. I'm immediately not interested. Like, what? No. Thirsty. You need to be absolutely starving for me. If I even feel remotely like you're not as into me as you were yesterday, like, I'm gone. So sorry about that. Not really sorry. Ick. Back of the line. Get to the back of the line. It's like, do not play with me. Do not play with me.
I'm not playing with you. And why am I not surprised that there's a line? This person perfectly exemplifies the concept of an insecure woman displaying cope ick. She outright admits that if she feels insecure or inadequate in the relationship because you aren't that into her, she'll claim that you gave her the ick so that she can ditch you before getting ditched herself. It's basically the "you can't fire me because I already quit" tactic. Pure cope ick.
Why are you getting the ick?
You know why. True ick.
Ick. Men tripping and falling? Ick.
Men being cold?
Ick.
This is Brian, and he's trying to decipher one question unknown to the male species. What is an ick?
An ick is just like when a man does something cringy. For example, being happy. Like, men should go to war and die. Why are you smiling?
Despite being given countless examples, Brian cannot identify the common denominator that constitutes what makes an ick. As a result, he lives in constant fear of committing a heinous ick in front of the bitches.
So what do you mean, ick list?
It's a list of my icks. Like, 1, men laughing. I feel like expressing joy is kind of girly. 2, him not having a good relationship with his mom. 3, him being too close with his mom. That's f***ing weird.
No matter how hard he tries, Brian can't seem to make sense of it. But one thing he knows is that he's always at risk of committing an ick, no matter how dire the situation.
Y'all run me all y'all shit right now. Yeah, okay. I mean, hell nah. What you mean, hell nah? You ain't got no choice. Nobody's around to hear you scream for help. So? I don't do screaming. I leave that to the females.
When we asked Emily why she broke up with Brian even though he saved her from the mugger, she said, "Brian jumping in front of a bullet for me was nice and all, but now he has a limp."
The following video was filmed by Brian's girlfriend prior to dumping him. True ick. And now she's pregnant by that mugger, because he's a real man.
Girl, why did you unmatch with David? I thought the day went well.
Because he blew on his food when it was too hot. Like,
oh my gosh.
Well now.
Bro, what are we doing here? Am I surprised your girlfriend looks at you sideways while you're deep throating a Powerade? No. This looks crazy. Plus all the little particles floating around in the bottle after.
Stop it. Get some help.
I'm calling in about my boyfriend. He was in a major accident recently with like this car, and like, you know, his body was like flailing around in the air and everything. And like, he's okay, but it did kind of give me the ick.
Okay, so this is a big mistake I see you guys make. Being ragged all around by the forces of nature. And what's she supposed to do? Respect you? Treat you like the king you are? I don't think so. She's already scared. You're in an accident. She's clearly driving, right?
Yeah.
The least you could do is keep it together a little bit.
Make yourself in charge of that situation.
Make yourself in charge of the situation. If you are projectile out of the, let's say you smash through the windshield, you're going out, go out with a little charisma.
Go out with the band.
Go out with the band.
Girl, why did you and Chris break up?
Because when we were at the pool, he pinched his nose before jumping in the water. Like, who does that? Like, I need a man.
When a guy trauma dumps on you for 2 hours.
Trauma dump? What the hell does that mean?
It's when a guy tells you all of his problems and all of his trauma from the past, 15 years.
So a guy should never really open up to you.
Now on a serious note, I find it interesting because there are so many people, especially on my second channel, who tell me that I'm promoting toxic masculinity by encouraging men to be less vulnerable or emotional towards their women to avoid this exact reaction. So many of a certain type of person want to blame people like me or the concept of toxic masculinity for why so many men are sad and deep rest or angry and violin, when obviously me encouraging men to be more stoic and less emotional is going to lead to more positive outcomes than if they express them the way some guy did with this woman, only to have her essentially mock him on a TikTok interview after breaking things off because she was turned off by it. Now, if you're a traditionally masculine guy and you decide to open up a little bit and be slightly more vulnerable with your girl, I do think that this could lead to a closer bond between the two of you. But if you're a guy who's constantly overly vulnerable and super emotional on a consistent basis, putting out that feminine energy constantly, most likely it's going to lead to your girl getting true ick. And what's more likely to make a guy sad, violin, and angry? Controlling his emotions or possibly talking to a friend, family member, or therapist about his problems rather than dumping it on his girl constantly? Or opening up to her, having her react like this person who will then most likely cheat or leave him for a man who doesn't trauma dump? I'd say the latter is much more likely to cause a negative reaction, because most women don't actually want to be bothered with men's problems despite what many of them say. They typically only care enough until it starts to affect them in some way. Now, some women truly are decent, caring people who are able and willing to be there for their man in that way, and the rest will just resent you for ruining their vibe or bringing them down with your negativity because they care far more about their own mental health and happiness than a man's. And like I've said many times, women often don't know what they want, or they want the opposite of what they say they do. So even though many of them say that they want a vulnerable guy who doesn't stick to the gender roles established by the patriarchy, as we've seen from this entire video, when the roles don't stick, chicks get the ick.
Here you go, sir. It's very, very hot, so be careful.
Oh, thanks, mate.
When guys blow on really hot foods... Oh, true. Just like eat the food, man. Don't be a bitch.
Hello? Good morning, beautiful. How did you sleep? I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, bro, this is like rule number 1 in dating. After you go on a date with a girl, the next day, don't be texting her, calling her, asking her how she slept, or saying good morning. Because all she's going to be thinking is, shouldn't you be working? Why are you bothering me?
Literally, you can be with a guy and you really like them, and then you wake up one day, you've got a message saying good morning, beautiful, and you're like, ugh.
See? What did I tell you?
I just wasn't expecting guys to still be so immature in their 30s or be so scared of commitment. When you're 34, when you're 35, and you're still like, yeah, I don't know what I want. I'm like, dude, you're like old.
Yeah, I love how this woman says this. Meanwhile,
there's no greater ick to me than guys who are actively seeking out relationships. Like, not guys who meet the right girl and get into a relationship, but men who like want a girlfriend, to have a girlfriend. That is just, oh, sorry.
And I'm not hating on this woman for thinking this way, nor is it unique that she does. The thing is, the type of men women wish wanted to settle down don't, nor do they need to. But the type of men who are actively seeking a girlfriend with whom to settle down, putting out that desperate, needy energy, are the ones women don't want. Bro, this is what TikToks like the ones we've been watching, or just Western culture in general, is doing to the minds of young men. It's got them worrying about every little thing they do, because any random move might make a girl lose attraction, then go on TikTok and mock them about how they got the ick. This is why young men need to just have an abundance mindset, go on as many dates as possible, do you, be confident in everything you do, and not worried about what a girl thinks or what you might have done that could have given her the ick. As long as you're exuding masculine energy, then her getting the ick is a her problem, not yours. I assure you of this.
Apparently guys can give girls the ick. Like if a guy chews too loud, she'll just leave him or whatever. Guys are literally the exact opposite of that. We are. If I brought a girl home, she could on my floor. I'd be like, I guess that's strike one. She is pretty hot though. People are flawed.
Yeah, this guy has a point. I was dating this girl once and we were at this outdoor event together where we were in a position where she had to drop a deuce, but we couldn't necessarily get to a bathroom easily. So I told her, why don't you just drop the kids off in that bag over there in the corner and I won't look. And no one else was around or could see us at the time. So she's mortified by this idea, mostly because her previous boyfriend was some soy-infused prissy loser who always expected his girl to act like a perfect lady at all times. But I'm like, look, I'm fully aware that women take dumps, and if you gotta go, it is what it is. Plus, I prefer a woman who knows how to rough it, and high-maintenance chicks just annoy me anyway, so I couldn't really care less. And honestly, I'd rather you drop one off in that bag over there than burden me with the process of having to get you to a bathroom in this moment. I'm a real gentleman, right? So she does it, and of course I dumped her immediately because I was disgusted. Kidding. No, she does it. I didn't judge her, nor did I care. And it was at that moment that she knew she was in love. But that's all I got for this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with someone that might like it. And make sure you check out my second channel for commentary on relationship stories or people seeking relationship and dating advice. Till then, I hope y'all take care of yourselves. Support and be good to women who don't get the ick. Peace.